Hello and welcome to this edition of ONTV News. I'm Ian Locke. With Thanksgiving fast approaching, many families are preparing to celebrate the holiday season. However, there are less fortunate families struggling and in great need of supplies. If you would like to help, there are many different organizations with the goal of adding those families in Lake Orion. Remnant Project Ministries feeds about 35 families a week and also give out personal hygiene items. To feed the homeless, Reverend Patty needs sugar, flour, and other items for baking, as well as gravy, broth, soups, and gelatin. If you'd like to contact RPM to see how you can help, you can visit www.remnantprojectministries.org or call 248-765-2233. Donations are also accepted every Tuesday at Community Christ Church located at 531 East Flint Street. Now that the election has come and gone, it's time for those who were voted into office to officially assume their duties. On Tuesday, November 20th, an inauguration ceremony took place at Orion Township Hall. Oakland County Commissioner Mike Gingell kicked things off by welcoming the unusually large crowd in attendance. State Representative Brad Jacobson was invited to administer the oath of office to each individual who was elected into office. 4 trustees were sworn in: Mike Flood, Neil Porter, Donnie Steele, and John Steimel. Mark Thurber replaces Alice Young as Orion Township Treasurer. Mike Luna was sworn in as Deputy Treasurer. Penny Schultz continues on as Township Clerk, with Susan Paula assuming the duties of Deputy Clerk. And Chris Barnett was joined by his family as he was sworn in as Township Supervisor. Replaces outgoing Supervisor Joanne Van Tassel.
It's quite humbling and for me to be up here. And as I pulled in this afternoon, a couple things went through my head. First of all, I'm no longer going to be able to park in visitor parking. and secondly, just the huge responsibility that is being placed on me by the people in this community. And I just want you to know that I do not take it lightly, and I am so excited.
The trustee terms are good for 2 years and will expire on November 20th, 2014. The next regularly scheduled Township Board meeting will take place on Monday, December 3rd at 7 p.m., which you can see right here on ONTV, Channel 20. Teenage drug abuse is an ongoing problem here in the Orion area, and there are several organizations who strive to battle the issue and offer prevention tips. One such organization is the North Oakland Community Coalition. Recently, the coalition hosted a presentation at the Orion Township Library geared specifically towards parents. On Wednesday, November 14th, concerned parents gathered at the library for a presentation called A Parent's Toolbox to Understanding Teen Substance Abuse. Representatives of the North Oakland Community Coalition were on hand to introduce a panel of speakers, including Toby Russell, Director of Rochester Hills Counseling, who also happens to be the president of the NOCC's Board of Directors. Christina Green is also a board member and an ER nurse at Beaumont Hospital. Rounding out the panel was Lieutenant Dan Toth of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office and commander of the Orion Township Substation. The panel discussed current trends among area teens when it comes to drug and alcohol use. Possible causes were discussed, and most importantly, what parents and community leaders can do to address the issue. Believe it or not, 40% of teens report they receive alcohol from adults. 2/3 can easily get alcohol in their own home, and 1/3 report they can drink at home with a parent's permission. The panel suggested that parents form a coalition of their own, share contact info, and let each other know what's going on in the community. The North Oakland Community Coalition was formed in 2007 to focus on substance abuse prevention and underage drinking prevention. To find out about upcoming presentations and events, visit their website at northoaklandcoalition.org. Another organization with similar goals is the Coalition Against Over-Medicating Our Youth. The coalition was formed by local pharmacist and author Frank Granite. Granite is a certified pharmacist with over 24 years of experience specializing in attention deficit disorder and psychiatric medications. He's the author of the book Over-Medicating Our Youth, the Public Awareness Guide for ADD and Psychiatric Medications. The coalition recently held a public health awareness forum right here at the Orion Center. The forum included guest speakers from the Orion area and local vendors. ONTV was on hand to capture this event, and it airs on Comcast Channel 10, or AT&T U-verse Channel 99 on Saturday, December 1st at 4 p.m. Michigan's firearm hunting season kicked off on November 15th, so Orion Township hosted Ladies' Night Out at the Orion Center for all the women whose men were away. ONTV's Kayla Brandon brings us the scoop.
The Orion Center was the place to be Friday, November 16th, as women hit the town for a Ladies' Night Out. With over 44 vendors, there was something for every woman: jewelry, health products, perfume, and even a fortune teller on hand. There was no shortage of tasty treats, with plenty of pastries to satisfy their sweet tooth. ONTV spoke with the women who worked hard to ensure the event's success.
We started planning the day after last year's event with getting some of the preparation and paperwork together, sending out invitations to last year's vendors, new vendors for this year, things that we wanted to do better, things that we wanted to do different. So we've been planning it for 364 days.
And what do you think of the turnout tonight?
It's absolutely fabulous. We're probably double what we were last year, which with our new space here at the Orion Center, we are easily able to accommodate everybody.
We're hoping that since this one has obviously been so successful that we will turn it into an annual event, that every year we will partner with Orion Township and continue to offer this event for ladies in our community. And it's a great night to have it because it's second night of deer hunting season, so there are lots of deer hunting widows out there looking for something fun to do. So we were excited to provide something for them to go out and do.
We have everything from clothing to jewelry to banks, credit unions, food vendors, Pampered Chef, in-home parties. We even have Chris from Classic Lanes here promoting their bowling specials. So all different types of vendors, all different types of food, and all different types of wine.
And how popular do you think the wine event has been?
I think it's pretty popular. I think the majority of the women that came bought a wristband for it. So, yeah, I think it was successful.
Speaking of wine, what would a ladies' night out be without a little vino? There were several wine tasting stations on both floors of the Orion Center, offering a wide variety of red and white wines. We caught up with arguably the most popular man of the evening, wine sommelier Dean Rondy.
Well, I absolutely enjoy getting in front of people and talking about wine and having them find wines that they actually enjoy. I mean, that's the fun part of my job. I could go out and buy wines all day long. It doesn't mean anything until people actually sit down, drink them, and enjoy them, and I love to see the smile on their face.
Dean wasn't the only man at the event. The ladies of Orion Township were serenaded all night long by Tim McGraw himself. Okay, so he isn't the hunky country star. But Alan Scott, a Tim McGraw tribute artist, definitely sounded like the real deal, and the ladies didn't seem to mind at all.
Just to see you smile.
Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling is right here in Lake Orion. This event was designed to coincide with the kickoff of hunting season, so while the men were away, the women could play. Reporting from the Orion Center, I'm Kayla Brandon for ONTV News.
Thanks, Kayla. With the year winding down, Orion Township has one last big event planned in 2012. Cookies with Claws is scheduled to take place on Saturday, December 8th at 11 a.m. at the Orion Center. Tickets are $15 per child. Pre-registration is required. Space is limited, so get your tickets early. For more information, contact Orion Township by calling 248-391-0304 or visit their website at oriontownship.org. We now turn our attention to local sports. Finishing the season with only one loss, the Lake Orion Dragons entered the playoffs playing solid football on both sides of the ball. On November 7th, the Dragons barely eked out a 10-7 win in a defensive battle with Utica Eisenhower. The following week, Lake Orion steamrolled over Macomb, Dakota, putting up 51 points in an impressive win. On Saturday, November 17th, the Dragons traveled to the neutral site of Troy Athens High School, hoping to take another step towards the Division I title. But they first had to get past Cass Tech. ONTV's Joe Johnson was on the sidelines and brings us the highlights.
On Saturday, November 17th, the Lake Orion Dragons traveled to Troy Athens High School to face defending state champs Cass Tech for the Division I title. At the 1 p.m. kickoff, it was a beautiful fall day for football. Like two boxers sizing each other up, the first few possessions resulted in punts for both teams. But it was the technicians who would strike first. With just over 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Cass Tech quarterback J. Rue Campbell hits Damon Webb in stride for a 71-yard touchdown. During the Dragons' ensuing drive, facing a 2nd and 13 on their own 40, Dragons quarterback Derek DeLaura hits a wide-open Christopher Lee, who is finally taken down on the 5-yard line. A face mask penalty on the technicians moved the ball half the distance to the goal. On 3rd and 1, Jacob Miller plows into the end zone for the Dragons' first score of the afternoon, tying the game at 7. Following that score, the Dragons kicked off to the technicians, and Jordan Lewis finds a seam and races down the field. Nicholas Booker makes the tackle and forces a fumble, but the ball is recovered by the technicians on the Dragons' 21-yard line. Just a few plays later, Mike Weber goes 5 yards into the end zone to regain the lead 14-7. Let's go to the second quarter with Cass Tech on the Dragons' 8-yard line. Campbell takes the ball in himself and increases his team's lead by 2 touchdowns, 21-7. Later in the second, the Dragons are forced to punt. Jordan Lewis fields the ball at the 1 and puts the pedal to the metal. Lewis goes 99 yards for the TD, but hold on. There's laundry on the field. A block in the back nullifies the touchdown. The points come off the board, and the technicians get the ball on their own 2-yard line. The technicians are later forced to punt, and the Dragons dodge a bullet. With the first half winding down and down by 2 touchdowns, the Dragons are going to have to find a way to catch on fire if they want to stay in the game with Cass Tech. And facing a 4th and 9 in the red zone, DeLaura targets Chaz Miller, who draws pass interference. The ball is spotted on the 10-yard line with just seconds left in the first half. DeLaura is hit as he throws. Miller makes a spectacular catch with 3 defenders converging on him. He is rocked but hangs on to the ball as the first half expires. The extra point was good, and the Dragons pulled it within 7 points at the half. With 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, the Dragons are in the red zone once again, looking at a 1st and 19 following a penalty. DeLaura hits a wide-open Jeremy King for the touchdown. King stays out on the field to kick the extra point, and the game is tied at 21. The fourth quarter started with Cass Tech moving the ball down the field. With 11:30 left in the game, the technicians were looking at a 3rd and 14 on the Dragons' 29. Campbell goes deep to Jordan Lewis, who strides into the end zone to regain the lead. The extra point is good. Cass Tech 28, Lake Orion 21. The Dragons would answer. Just a minute later, on 3rd and 1, DeLaura hands off to Corey Esther, who turns the corner and goes 66 yards for the touchdown. But Jeremy King's extra point sails wide left, and the Dragons find themselves down by 1 point. Later in the fourth quarter, the Dragons are hoping for a big stop. Instead, Campbell hands off to Mike Weber, who sheds tacklers and goes 32 yards before being brought down at the Dragons' 4-yard line. Following back-to-back penalties, the technicians face a 4th and 8 and line up for a field goal. It's a fake, but Lake Orion's Brennan Rourke smothers Campbell. Turnover on downs, with the Dragons still only down by 1 point. The Dragons get the ball back, but can't seem to get anything going because of the missed extra point. The Dragons need to get into at least field goal range and are forced to go for it on 4th down on their own 31. DeLaura's pass to Esther falls incomplete, and the technicians take over with only 31 yards to the end zone. With just 2 minutes to go in the game, Mike Weber goes 10 yards into the end zone for the score. He would finish with 127 yards on 21 carries and 2 touchdowns. The technicians miss the extra point, and the Dragons still have a little life left, down by a touchdown with 2 minutes to go in their season. The Dragons drive to near midfield, but with just 30 seconds left on the clock, they face a 4th and 11 and need to convert. Dolores pass to Chaz Miller hits the turf. Turnover on downs, game over. The Dragons' amazing 2012 season comes to an end with a 34-27 loss. Cass Tech will advance to the Division I state championship game at Ford Field to face Novi Detroit Catholic Central.
Oh, Cass Tech is a great team, and I don't think we played real well out of the gate, whether it be nerves or whatever it may be, or just too excited. But we made a lot of mistakes. We missed tackles, committed penalties, and blocked real well the first half. So we thought we went into halftime. We told the guys, I don't think we can play any worse, and we still have a chance to win the game. Then we came out and thought we played a really good second half, and they just made more plays than we did. So hats off to them.
Talk about Team 68. What can they come away with?
They did it the right way. They were a great group of kids who worked very, very hard and did it the right way.
I like what you said, what their legacy is. Talk about what their legacy is once they leave here. Great.
Yeah, the legacy, we won't sit in for them. Time will put it all in perspective. They established themselves as one of the best teams at Lake Orion, and they have nothing to hang their heads about. I mean, they did a great job, and we're so proud of them.
In Troy, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV Sports.
Thank you, Joe, for that report. We want to say congratulations to the LOHS varsity football team on such a great year. That's it for this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Ian Locke. Thank you for watching.